The story starts with Lisa, a girl who grew up without parents in an orphanage. Her life became very sad when she was young because of a terrible accident. When she was little, a big fire started in the place where she lived. She got trapped in the flames, and her face was badly burned, leaving ugly marks all over it. Ever since that day, Lisa has been hiding her face under a strange fake hairpiece that makes everyone stare and whisper about her. For 10 whole years, she has been too scared to look at herself in mirrors because she's afraid of what she'll see. Everyone calls her mean names like the ugly duckling, and nobody ever found out who started that fire. Now Lisa is trying to live like a normal person and starts going to a new school. But from the moment she walks through the school doors, she knows people will keep staring at her. Her fake hair looks weird and different, so it becomes something for other students to make fun of. Students talk about her behind her back, and some even laugh at her, until she notices one particular girl. This girl, named Sohi, is incredibly beautiful, and everyone loves her. She's the smartest student in school, and has a bright personality that makes everyone pay attention to her. She's always surrounded by 2 handsome boys who would do anything to protect her, and both of them are completely in love with her. They dream about her loving them back someday. While Lisa has never had a boyfriend, Sohi grew up in a rich family with parents who are loved by everyone in public. They even won an award for being the perfect family of the year. But behind their perfect appearance, Sohi's family is hiding a terrible secret that would destroy everything if people found out about it. Lisa, feeling angry and bitter about her life, decides to talk to Sohi. One afternoon, she takes a pen that Sohi was using to hold up her hair and asks nervously, "Do you remember me?" Sohi looks at her with confusion and says, "I don't know who you are." This answer breaks Lisa's heart. Her fake hair slips a little, showing part of what's underneath. The other girls notice this and start laughing cruelly at her, chasing her and calling her names, even saying she smells bad. Feeling embarrassed and hurt, Lisa runs home crying. That night at the orphanage, she complains about how expensive it is to go to school. Her sisters, who also have no money, can't help her at all. Lisa feels like life is pushing her into a corner with no way out. The next day, feeling desperate, she asks Sohi for money. But Sohi, living in her perfect world, ignores her completely, acting like she doesn't even exist. All the pain Lisa has felt for years explodes inside her, and she screams angrily, demanding that people stop treating her like garbage. That's when Yong, one of the boys who protects Sohi, steps forward. Without thinking twice, he pulls out a bunch of money, pushes it into Lisa's hands, and coldly warns her to never come near Sohi again. Everyone watches, waiting to see Lisa give up, but she doesn't back down. Instead, she punches Yong right in the face, knocking him down in front of everyone. Then she throws the money back at him and walks toward Sohi. Standing tall in front of the shocked crowd, Lisa demands, "Do you think I'm some kind of beggar? I don't need your dirty money," shaking up Sohi's perfect image in front of everyone. Later, as she walks through the school, the same boy from before suddenly appears. At first, she thinks he's going to bully her again, but instead, he tells her she was brave. Rather than starting another fight, something different happens. He begins to admire her courage. But Lisa still keeps her secret, never telling anyone that she's hiding her real appearance under fake hair. Sohi, upset by Lisa's anger, can't understand why this girl hates her so much. Days later, in a quiet alley where no one can see them, she decides to tell her biggest secret. Her hands shake as she slowly removes her fake hair, showing the burned skin and scars that have made her life miserable. Sohi gasps in horror, unable to believe what she's seeing. Lisa's voice shakes, but her words cut like knives. "This is what you left behind in the fire." Then the real truth comes out. Years ago, they weren't strangers. They were best friends who lived in the same orphanage as children. But everything changed the night of the fire. Lisa was trapped in the flames, screaming for help. While Lisa was still trying to get better from her injuries, Sohee was taken in by a wealthy family, leaving Lisa completely alone because of her damaged appearance. Lisa believes that Sohee had something to do with the fire and that she was the one who started it, destroying her life. She was bullied and called a monster and beaten down until she could barely survive. Now, standing face to face with Sohee, she promises that she will tell the world that the perfect girl everyone loves is actually a villain. On the school rooftop, she starts planning her revenge against her former friend. Suddenly, a group of girls rudely interrupt her, laughing and asking if her hair is even real. Without hesitation, she attacks them, beating them so badly that they're left shaking like scared animals, completely defeated by her anger. But the beaten girls call for help from hired bullies. That night, as Lisa walks home, she gets surrounded and they push her against a wall and hit her across the face. One cruel boy kicks her to the ground. Just when Lisa is about to be seriously hurt, Young appears out of nowhere. He fights the gang with amazing skill, and his fighting abilities turn everything around. Bones crack and bodies hit the ground, leaving the bullies in pain. Lisa watches in amazement as her rescuer stands tall. For the first time in her life, her heart beats with something other than hatred. She can't stop thinking about him afterward, and even dares to imagine love. One night, she decides to give Young a silver swan necklace as a symbol of her hidden feelings. But Young soon tells her something that breaks her heart. The girl he loves is Sohee, and to him, Lisa is nothing more than a troubled, ugly girl. Angry, she marches straight to Sohee and tells her that the boys who always hang around her are nothing but fake people. Determined to get her revenge, she sneaks into Young's house, not knowing that Sohee has secretly followed her, wondering what she's up to. Inside, Lisa discovers a carefully arranged romantic setup with flowers and balloons, everything prepared for a love confession to Sohee. When Young notices Lisa's irritation, he asks directly if she has feelings for Sohee. Lisa responds coldly that Sohee isn't in love with him at all and doesn't care about him. His anger flares at her words, and just then, he spots a necklace in Lisa's possession that belongs to Sohee. Thinking she stole it, he demands she give it back. Lisa slips and her fake hair falls off, and Young sees her real face. His shock turns to cruel laughter as he makes fun of her, calling her a monster. Lisa grabs a knife and in a moment of despair tries to hurt herself. Young stops her just in time, but the damage is done. The painful memories of her past come roaring back louder than ever. Sohee, who followed her, bursts into the room just in time to see the chaos. Lisa, shaking with fury, screams at her and blames her for everything. The fire, the scars, the ruined life. Then comes the breaking point. Lisa lunges forward with the knife in her hand, aiming for Sohee's heart. At the last moment, Young throws himself in front of her. The blade goes into his back and blood pours out as he falls to the ground, his life slipping away. Sohee, covered in his blood, runs home in shock, screaming to her mother that Young died in her arms. Her mother, strangely calm, assumes her daughter killed him. Sohee explains she left her phone and homework at Young's house, evidence that Ombi could connect her to the murder. Her mother, disturbingly collected, gives her a calming medicine. The next day, when Sohee wakes up, she finds that the things she had left behind in the house have been returned, as if nothing ever happened. Later, she learns Young's house burned down and his parents died in the fire, and she realizes her own mother may have destroyed all evidence in the middle of the night. The perfect parents she once trusted are not saviors. They are monsters. Meanwhile, Lisa visits what's left of the burned house. A detective sees her and becomes suspicious of her nervous behavior. He orders an investigation into her and everyone connected to Young. At the same time, Sohee is suffocated by worry. Her father tries to comfort her and promises that time heals all wounds. But when police arrive at their home, her father orders her to stay in the car. There she finds the swan necklace Young once treasured in her father's possession. The realization chills her to the bone, and she understands her father is not innocent. When they enter the house, the police make her sit at a table and begin questioning her parents. The police ask Sohee about the deaths and she lies, claiming she was home the night of Young's death. Her parents smile proudly, supporting her story. But the moment the police leave, her father's behavior changes. He whispers, "As long as I am here, nothing will ever harm you." But his eyes are cold and his tone is threatening. That night, she hears strange noises in the house. When she tries to escape, she finds her parents blocking the door, smiling eerily like zombies. From that terrifying night onward, Sohee realizes her parents are not the perfect angels the world worships. Then she discovers that her parents are hiding a secret room inside the house. Determined to uncover the truth, she asks for help from her friend Yu, who agrees to watch the house while she searches every corner. When she finally finds a set of keys, she heads straight for the forbidden room. Memories rush back. When she was a child, she once tried to go inside, but her father stopped her with a murderous look, warning her never to step near that door again. Now, with her heart racing, she tries the keys one by one, but none of them fit. Then she realizes the worst part. Her parents are already on their way back. Thinking fast, she grabs a ladder, rushing to the second floor to force her way in through the window. Yu, desperate to buy her time, distracts her father outside by doing ridiculous dances. The father, confused and disturbed, watches as his daughter slips inside the forbidden room. Suddenly, her eyes fall on a mysterious photograph lying on the desk. In the picture, she sees her family from before the adoption, and standing beside them is another teenage boy, a brother she never knew existed. Her mind spins. Who was he? What happened to him? Before she can process this, she hears her parents enter the house. They move with suspicion, sensing something is wrong. Her father climbs the stairs toward the locked room, key in hand. At the last second, Sohee steps out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, pretending she just showered. But her mother is not fooled. Later, Sohee dares to confront her mother. "Why did you adopt me?" For the first time, her mother's mask cracks, rage flashing in her eyes as she snaps at her. The perfect mother act is crumbling, and Sohee knows she is getting closer to the truth. Seeking answers, she visits her grandmother, who lives in a big house. When Sohee shows her the photograph and asks about the mysterious boy, her grandmother's composure shatters. She rages, shouting that Sohee's blood is cursed and that she will never truly belong to this family. In a fit of fury, she throws a vase to the floor, cutting Sohee's leg with the pieces. Yu, devoted as ever, carries her on his back, his eyes full of quiet love. For the first time, Sohee feels the warmth of someone who truly cares for her, not because of power or appearances, but because of who she is. But danger keeps getting closer. Back at home, her parents look through her belongings, reading her private diary, where she confesses her hatred for them. Meanwhile, the police begin suspecting Sohee of being connected to the crimes. Cornered, she tells Yu the truth in a whisper. It was Lisa who accidentally killed Yong. Yu, shocked but loyal, promises to protect her secret. Then Sohee receives a mysterious message from an unknown number. "Meet me at the school entrance." She rushes there, convinced it's Lisa. But when she arrives, no one is waiting. Across the street, she glimpses a familiar shape. Lisa's figure. Desperate, she runs toward her. But at that exact moment, a truck speeds down the road, aiming straight at her. At the last second, Yu dives forward, pushing her out of the way, only to be struck himself. His body hits the ground hard. Sohee screams in terror, holding him as his chest rises faintly with breath. Could it have been an accident? Or was it done on purpose? Soon, suspicion falls on her father, who is discovered to have rented a black truck identical to the one used. He claims it was stolen before he could drive it, but Sohee no longer believes his excuses. Her father is planning to kill her. When she confronts him, His fury explodes. He storms into her room, smashing her belongings, demanding to know where she hid the photograph from the forbidden room. He calls her the worst daughter he's ever had, unworthy of the family name. Then Sohee threatens to report him to the police, and his answer is chilling. "If you do, I'll kill you myself." In response, Sohee reaches out to a police officer and asks about the boy in the photo. The truth is devastating. The boy was the biological son of her parents. Years ago, he died in a mysterious fire. The puzzle pieces begin to fit together. Sohee was adopted not out of love, but to replace the son they lost, to maintain the perfect image of a flawless family. Back at home, her parents lock her inside, determined to keep control over her, watching her every move. In the kitchen, she notices a jar of peanut butter among the groceries. Her blood runs cold. She's deathly allergic to peanut butter, and her parents know this. They're not protecting her. They're trying to poison her. That night, her mother enters with a bowl of soup, urging her to eat. Sohee trembles, suspecting it contains peanut butter. She refuses. Her mother insists. Just one bite. Sohee slaps the spoon away and flees the house under pouring rain. But danger lurks in the shadows. A dark figure brushes past her and she screams. Running blindly, she stumbles into the road, only to be hit by a speeding car. Bones snap, her body crumples. On the ground, tears blur her vision. At the hospital, between life and death, she hallucinates her mother standing over her with blood-red eyes. But when she gasps awake, it's you by her side, calling desperately for doctors. Still trembling, she whispers, "They're trying to kill me." A police officer leans close, begging her to reveal the true murderer. Her father, standing in the room, stares at her intently, but before she can speak, she collapses into a nightmare. In her dream, Lisa appears, ripping off her fake hair, flames igniting around them. Fire consumes everything as Lisa screams about their broken bond. The vision is terrifying, and when Sohee wakes, she learns chilling news. The accident wasn't random. Security cameras reveal she was deliberately pushed into the street. The prime suspect, her father. Police storm the house, arresting him for kidnapping, arson, and attempted murder. But even as he's questioned, another threat creeps closer. One night, Sohee hears glass shattering in her room. A knife-wielding silhouette stalks her through the hall. Wounded from stepping on broken glass, she tries to flee. Then she hears a voice that freezes her heart. Lisa, holding a bloody knife, approaches with a twisted smile. "Now it's your turn to feel my pain." The girl is frozen by the intensity of Lisa's hatred, unable to understand how their friendship had turned into such a nightmare. Lisa grabs a dirty shovel and strikes her with brutal force. Then she ties her to a chair inside the bedroom, hidden from the neighbor's eyes, and begins pouring gasoline across the floor. Then we discover the truth. When Sohee's mother arrived at the scene of the murder, she actually saw the boy still alive, which means Sohee was not the one who killed him. This shows that her mother never set the place on fire. She only went there to collect her daughter's homework and phone. But as she was leaving, she noticed Sohee's adoptive parents entering the house, which reveals that someone else entirely was responsible for their deaths. Through tears, she tells Lisa they can still be friends. They can still save each other, maybe even love again. For a brief instant, Sa hesitates, but just then, movement outside the window catches Sohee's eye. A policeman. Hope surges, but it turns to horror when the man lights a cigarette and casually tosses the flame onto the gasoline-soaked floor. The fire explodes, covering the room in a wall of heat and smoke. His lips curl into a sinister grin. This is no policeman. This is something far worse. Lisa tries to flee, but the imposter seizes her, pressing the knife to her throat, forcing her back into the fire. Sohee, bound and choking, screams as the fire devours everything. Just when all seems lost, the real police break in, gun trained on the imposter's head. For a moment, it looks like salvation. But in the blink of an eye, the fake cop disarms him, shoots him down, and drags Lisa away into the night. The truth is unveiled in a shocking twist. The imposter is none other than Sohee's biological father, a man with a dark past. Years ago, after his wife died giving birth, he was left drowning in gambling debts. To cover his failures, he faked an accident involving his daughter, trying to get insurance money. When his scheme was exposed by a prosecutor, he was thrown into prison. Upon release, he was consumed by revenge. He built a secret underground room, staging a kidnapping that spiraled out of control. His daughter befriended the son of the prosecutor who had sent him to prison, who turns out to be Sohee's real father. He asked the boy to babysit his daughter, but it was all part of a plan. Soon after, he demanded a ransom of $1 million from the prosecutor if he ever wanted to see his son again. But what followed was a true nightmare. A fire broke out in the basement where his daughter and the boy were trapped. The biological son searched desperately for a way out, but the flames grew hotter and stronger, leaving only a tiny window in sight. He managed to push the little girl through to safety, and when he tried to find another way out, the entire place exploded with him still inside. The boy's parents arrived just as the explosion went off, and the firefighters held them back, saying that everyone inside was already dead. But suddenly, someone was pulled from the wreckage, and it turned out to be the little girl their son had saved. Moments later, the heartbreaking news was confirmed. Their son had indeed died in the fire. Crushed with grief, the parents were deeply moved by their child's final act of love. And so, despite the unbearable pain caused by the man responsible, they chose to adopt Sohee, the daughter of the very person who had brought such tragedy into their lives. Here we discover that her parents never wanted to kill Sohee. Their only sin was loving her too much, even if it meant burying every secret in lies. The biological father clashes with Sohee's adoptive father in a brutal fight, both tumbling off a cliff into the raging sea below. No one knows if either survived. Sohee is broken by grief and collapses into her adoptive mother's arms. No matter what happens, you are our daughter, our beautiful child. Meanwhile, Lisa, battered and tortured, is found alive in a locker, barely breathing. She is taken to the hospital where it seems she is going to heal from her wounds. The adoptive father, against all odds, is also rescued from the sea. Days pass in mourning and confusion as our heroes try to heal from the past. Sohee, haunted by everything, visits Yu, who is still recovering from his injuries. Seeing her alive, his eyes light up with pure happiness. They walk together through a shopping mall, laughing for the first time in what feels like forever. Yu confesses his dream to become an architect, to build a home where he and Sohee can live in peace. He is still hopelessly in love with her. Sohee, overwhelmed, doesn't reject him, but doesn't accept him either, leaving the door open for a beautiful love between their bright smiles. Later, she returns to the ruins of her burned house and carefully restores part of it. When her adoptive parents arrive, she has prepared a cake with the words, "Happy Birthday" written on it. Deep inside, she knows that their son had been the one who saved her from the fire, and the cake was truly meant for him because today would have been his birthday if he was still alive. She then opens her soul and asks for forgiveness, believing deep down that if she had never been around, perhaps their son would still be alive. Her adoptive mother gently holds her hand and reassures her that the bonds of their family are unbreakable, reminding her that their son is surely watching from above, proud of the path she has chosen, and of the kind-hearted young woman she has become. Just when it seems healing is possible, a horrifying twist strikes. The soup she served them that night was poisoned, not by her own hands, but by her biological father. Sohee is paralyzed with fear. His influence over her is unbreakable. He tells her they can start a new life together, but they'll need money. He demands she open the family safe. Then Sohee tells her father that the password to open the safe is simply her birthday. It sounds like the easiest thing in the world, but no matter how many times he tries, he still can't get it right. He fumbles through dates, failing again and again, cursing himself as a worthless father who can't even remember his daughter's birth. Drunk and enraged, he finally recalls it, and the safe swings open, gold and cash glimmering inside. But as he celebrates, so he smiles faintly. The drink in his hand has been poisoned. Because of this, her father clutches his throat and then collapses, begging for help. He is choking with no way out, and she watches him coldly, almost enjoying the moment, until he lies on the floor, completely motionless. Instead of calling an ambulance, So-hee pours herself a glass of the same drink, whispering that maybe it's better if everything ends here. But her adoptive mother bursts in, snatching the glass from her hand, hugging her tightly. "No matter what, I will protect you. You are my daughter." For one brief moment, they seem like a united family. But the illusion shatters as police storm the house, finding them all unconscious. Time skips forward. 3 years later, rumors swirl that So-hee vanished abroad, taking only a toothbrush, never looking back. Her parents beg you to find her. You, now studying architecture, leaves hopeful messages online. "Mom and Dad miss you. Please come home." But So-hee never replies. Lisa is released from prison, scarred by the past, but searching for redemption. Yu greets her with forgiveness, understanding that her crimes were born of pain and manipulation. They sit together, united by one thing above all: the emptiness left by So-hee's disappearance. Her adoptive parents still set a plate for her at dinner every night, unable to accept her absence. Then one ordinary day, a miracle. Through the window, they see a disfigure girl walking by. It's So-hee. Her parents rush outside, eyes flooded with tears. When they see her standing before them, they can't believe it. And her father says to her with all his heart, "Come home, daughter. You are our everything." And after all the fire, blood, betrayal, and death, the story closes with a fragile reunion. A family torn apart by lies is brought back together by love. The hatred that once consumed everything is replaced with forgiveness and healing. The scars remain, but the flame of love, though battered, refuses to die. Because in the end, even when hatred steals too much, love, the spark that never fully fades, offers a second chance.